Okay, moving on to part 2. Just going to take a look at some examples of a few MSX games, what I've got currently, just to, in case you're curious. So yeah, this is Space Mambo here, and this is your typical Konami brand MSX cart. Konami was definitely the king of the MSX as far as game development went. They just tons and tons of Konami games on the MSX. Some of them are really good, some of them have aged pretty badly, to be honest, but this is Space Mambo, and as you can see, they say what they require, MSX2 or MSX2 Plus. This one's actually a dual compatible game, it'll work with either. And yeah, for those of you who aren't familiar, this is probably Konami's greatest shooter achievement on the system. It's pretty impressive for an MSX game, and yeah, it's quite a bit of fun. So yeah, here's the case for it. It lists all the stuff it has. SCC, which is actually a Konami kind of memory chip, which is used for the sound, because this game has amazing music for the MSX. And then, it lists what it's compatible with, and, nice big screenshots, and if you open the box up here, you get the manual, and nice big manuals. And they even describe some of the stuff he used. Like, Konami was really proud of this game. It's like here it describes the sprite driver, because they actually developed their own. Well, I mean, it's basically just the MSX hardware didn't have the sprite support they wanted in order to make this game, so they wrote their own software driver, and it just kind of tells you a little bit about it. But yeah, they were definitely proud of this one, and definitely a great game. One to get if you've got an MSX. Then we've got, of course, Vampire Killer, Akamaju Dracula in Japan, which definitely quite a bit different from most of the standard Castlevania games, but it's quite a bit of fun. This one being a bit older, uses the older Konami style. See, back in the old days, all of Konami's games were like that. Later, they just did what looked cool, and the manual's a little more paperish than plasticish. And we also got the cases, the Konami cases actually have a nice little cart holder in them. So, nice quality. Alright, then I've got here, this is King Kong 2. This is a game I bought for like $5, and, sorry, it's my phone. Just an email though. Shut up. Okay, so, this is King Kong 2, which I bought this game is like $5, and, look at that cover art. Beautiful. Fucking awesome looking. And it's actually a really, really good game. I looked at the back and looked at the screenshots, and kind of gave me this weird Star Tropics, but with King Kong vibe. And yeah, it's basically an action RPG, where you go around, but way different from everything I've ever played before, because there's tons of weapons and tons of secrets, like kill 15 of enemy A and you get a secret weapon, and there's just tons of stuff you can do, and it's a very simple looking game, but still the graphics look decent. And I mean, the goal was actually to find Lady Kong in order to get King Kong a blood transfusion so he can get a new heart to basically heal himself from the wounds he got from the first movie when he's up on the Empire State Building. And it's a really good game, and it costs like nothing. So definitely get one of those if you want an MSX. Then we get into my porn. Dragon Knight, the fantastic and fantasy role-playing game. So yeah, these are floppy disks. Now I can't actually show you the back of this one because it's covered in nudity. So, just open it up here, one-handed. These cases are a little different. The Konami cases are just vinyl and they close, but these are actually snap cases. Dragon Knight one's fairly simple. You just got the manual. And Dragon Knight 1 is 4 floppies. And it actually has a nice little holder for them. Good. So that's Dragon Knight 1. And then we've got, Dragon Knight 2 here. This one, you know, as you can see in small letters, it says it does support the Turbo R. But it's not really a Turbo R required game. But it can use it. And this one is a beast. This game is 9 discs. Discs. 9 freaking discs. Also comes with some neat stuff. And here is a small little card, which this won't make sense if you haven't actually ever played the game, but it's basically a hint card that you need to figure out in order to solve what is by far the hardest puzzle in the game. It's neat stuff. And then, yeah, nice manual. And they really, I love the manuals here, because they even put in like grids so that you could draw your own map, because these don't have built-in maps. And they even give you a nice little pencil board so you can actually, stick it in there and draw and hold it. And this one, I guess too many people complained about getting all the porn in the first game. So this one, they gave you the full maps of how to get through the game. And this is just interesting because it's still sealed. This envelope is glued shut. What I can see, has absolutely no signs of ever being opened. So this is the cheater info if you just want to look at the porn and it's never been used. Cool. Alright, so I'm sure you're all curious to just, mess around a little. So I'm sure this is the game most people want to see because everyone loves a good shooter. And this is arguably the best one on the system. So you can put games in either slot, but slot 1 would be like the one it'll read from first. So yeah, if it detects a bootable cart in slot 1, it'll boot right up. Alright, put that in there, and then just turn it on. But, Konami had a lot of fun with the multiple slots. There's a lot of games that can do certain things. King Kong 2 is an interesting example, because King Kong 2 doesn't have a save feature at all. But Konami realized this and that it was kind of a mistake. So, they actually, when they released their next game, Hinotori, they had the ability to save to the tape drive. They actually programmed it so that it can detect King Kong 2 and then allow you to use the tape drive through it. Meaning if you want to save in King Kong 2, you take a Hinotori, you put that in cart 1, and you put King Kong 2 in cart 2. The game detects it and boots King Kong 2, and then you can actually save to the tape drive, which kind of a mess, but interesting. Of course, I can't actually use a tape drive, so... But yeah, this is Space Mambo. Now, for MSX, this is an extremely smooth scrolling shooter. Actually made it to the checkpoint, and it is very impressive. The graphics and color are great. The music is wonderful. But be aware, though, people online will tell you it's like the super smooth game, and it is very smooth. But it's still, it doesn't run at 60 frames per second like your typical arcade shooter would. So when you first play this, it seems a little odd, mainly because of the slightly lower frame rate, and the animation could have been a bit better. So when I first played this, I was like, oh my god, this is kind of choppy, and I don't think I could ever play another MSX shooter if this is the best. But a little time, you get used to it, and it is quite smooth. You just have to get into the groove of the game. Definitely a great game, and this is when you want to make sure you play at least on the MSX2 Plus. Because on the 2, on a standard 2, which it does support, it has to switch to the older MSX 8-pixel by 8-pixel dot crawl thing. But on a 2 Plus, it actually does scroll, as you see now. And it's very smooth, but at the same time, not, 60 frames smooth. But the game's really grown on me, and yeah, definitely one to pick up. A great game. Love the music, and really shows what the MSX could do. So I'm just gonna ram myself into the boss here. Or actually, I'm gonna let him kill me with my arm, because I'm not sure how much time I have left in this video. And definitely just a great game. Game over. Continue to F5. Supposed to F5 to continue. But yeah, that's Space Mambo. And great games on this system. I mean, it is a computer, it's not really a console, but all in one. So yeah, that's MSX Basics right there. If you want technical details, look them up online. There's tons of fan sites. See ya.